Hello everyone, it's Griffin. Today I wanted to talk about the 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians game that has transpired about a week ago on the 22nd of February, I believe. And specifically, I wanted to focus on the draft and how 100 Thieves really, well, Golden Guardians just insanely outdrafted 100 Thieves. But I want to focus on how badly 100 Thieves outdrafted themselves. Even though I believe that 100 Thieves are better mechanically uh, than Golden Guardians, they drafted themselves into such a hole that they couldn't get out of that no amount of really mechanical skill could have gotten them out of a draft this bad. And believe me, they tried for an hour. This game took an hour to complete. A painful hour watching, mind you. But today, I just wanted to talk about it. And without any further ado, let's begin with 100 Thieves' first ban, which was, in this case, Pantheon. Now, I'm not sure why Pantheon is being banned, just in general. I think the champion is pretty bad. Um, I understand that it's probably banned in the support role, but because the jungle Pantheon has been gutted in 11.3, which is the patch that this game had been played on, and Pantheon jungle really wasn't viable at all. Um, it still isn't, obviously, especially now with the jungle nerfs, but that's besides the point. I don't like the Pantheon ban. I don't understand why it's being banned ever. Um, it can go top lane or mid lane, I guess, sometimes, but it is a champion that needs so much in form of resources to be able to do anything, and even then, it for as much as it takes, it does so little. But that's besides. It's not besides the point. I think it's. I don't understand the Pantheon draft, but that's kind of a whole issue with LCS. They keep banning Pantheon. I don't understand why, um, but that's fine. So that's their first ban. It's not a big deal, right? Um, Golden Guardian's first ban is Udyr, which I think is completely a fine ban. I think it's a completely fine ban. The champion is just really overtuned, especially in 11.3 before the jungle nerfs. It was a really good champion. It still is, but it was an insanely good champion, the best clearer in the game, and just really overtuned and really kind of broken, really. So I think this ban is definitely fine. I think it's warranted, especially because the red side they don't get to pick it first, so banning it is fine. They do, however, open up just a free first pick Olaf for the enemy team if they don't ban it, which spoiler they don't end up doing, which is also fine. We will see that they are able to kind of abuse the fact that the enemy captured Olaf as their first pick. So 100 Thieves second ban. Um, Not too weird. It's Camille. Uh, Niles has definitely shown himself to be competent on this champion, so I do think that it was a fine ban. It would also serve as a really good answer to the draft they were planning to create for themselves. So I'm I'm fine with this ban. I don't hate the Camille ban. I do think that Camille is a good champion, and especially played by someone who truly understands the champion like Niles does. I think it is a fine ban. So, Golden Guardians ban. Now this is a ban that I find kind of controversial. I don't understand entirely either. It's Renekton. I don't think it's a very good champion. I don't think it's a terrible one. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there are polarizing views. Some people say it's broken. Some people say it's downright terrible. I don't think it's either of these things. I think it's somewhere in the middle. It doesn't really even matter. But I don't think that it's ban worthy. I think it's really abusable, especially if it's picked early, um, and that teams just haven't yet gotten to that stage, which I find weird. But it is what it is. Someday, however, is quite proficient on the champion, so I do understand that point of view, though I still do not think that it warrants any kind of a ban. A third ban on 100 Thieves side is going to be Graves. Now this I did not understand. Watching this game for the first time when it went live, I did not understand the Graves ban. I thought maybe it was something to do with their composition, but unless Golden Guardians ban somehow magically ban both Lilia and Olaf, even still, you would be able to find a jungler that can deal with Graves, because Graves, I don't think is a very good champion right now at all. I think it's a champion that only comes online with three very expensive items. I don't think he's a champion until he gets three very expensive items. So Immortal Shield Bow, whatever the fuck he gets else, I don't remember, but I know it's three expensive items. And though it's not a terrible pick into Olaf, I don't understand why it needs to be banned. I do understand that Iconic is really good at the champion as well, but with a draft that 100 Thieves have planned out, they need to win the game before 25 minutes. Can Graves efficiently block them from doing that? No. In fact, Graves wants the game to go to three items, which is not 25 minutes, mind you, at all. So Graves really, I I can understand it somewhat, but I don't like it. I don't think it was needed. I don't think it was needed at all, because I think in any case you should ban Lilia here. And if you don't want to ban Lilia, if you want the enemy to take Lilia instead of Graves, then don't ban Lilia, ban something else. I don't know what, just ban something else. Do not ban Graves. I dislike the Graves ban. Now the third ban from Golden Guardians is also another head scratcher, which is Thresh. I don't understand why would you ever want to ban Thresh. I like, if you hate some combos or something like that, just ban Callista. Okay? A Callista ban is more warranted than a fucking Thresh ban. I don't understand the Thresh ban. Maybe they dislike playing against it, but I never, ever think the Thresh is a good ban in the first phase, especially in the first phase. In second phases, it depends on the compositions. Maybe you can ban it, but in the first phase, I don't think it ever needs a ban. Okay? That's how I personally feel. So, B1, a pretty expected thing. Olaf gets picked as the B1. Completely fine. It's an LCS classic. Olaf is a fine champion if paired with the right set pieces, and that's absolutely fine. This champion is okay to be first picked, I guess, especially in LCS. However, in R1 we have Gragas. Sorry about that, Gragas and Lilia. Gragas and Lilia get picked on R1 and R2. I think these are completely fine. In isolation, these are fine first picks. The Gragas is a really good pick. Flex pick or top lane pick, he's both very good still. Lilia, in isolation, is a good pick, right? I don't think it's that good into Olaf just because of his ulti. I really don't think so. I think that Olaf is a stronger champion than Lilia in the early game. And I think it should have been an R3 here. I don't think you need to show your jungler yet. But it's totally fine to do so. At the end of the day, 100 Thieves... 100 Thieves... I don't think the Lilia was a big mistake here. I don't think so. I think it was a small mistake. But 100 Thieves just rewarded it. This is the first big mistake out of 100 Thieves, in my opinion, because they don't capitalize on this mistake. And it's fine that they don't capitalize on this mistake. You know, maybe they're thinking, oh, whatever, it's just a Lilia, right? It's fine. But instead of capitalizing on it, they feed into it. They let the Lilia become an actually good champion here. Which, she is a good champion, but instead of just making her like, okay, it's Lilia, they make her, oh shit, it's Lilia, with their B2, which is, and I hate to see this, Kai'Sa. I don't understand why Kai'Sa is such a huge priority, period. I don't understand this. We're going to get a bit deeper into this when I show you the next pick, which is B3 Rel. There isn't actually a rel icon here. The champion isn't in this on the site, so you'll forgive me for that. I'll use Aurelion Soul as a placeholder. So Kaisa and Rel get locked in B2, B3. I think Rel is a fine pick. Honestly, I think it's a good pick. I think it's fine, but I don't understand why you have to pick Kaisa. Ever, just ever. Why do teams feel the need to pick Kaisa? I think it's a downright terrible champion. First of all, I think it's not as strong in competitive play as it is in solo queue. It's impressive in solo queue, I'll give you that much, but it's not that good in pro play, in my opinion. And I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate this Kaisa pick. Because instead, what you can do is you can either pick Seraphine and pick your top laner, right? So, I, with the power of hindsight, or rather foresight, with the power of foresight, I know that 100 Thieves are already thinking about picking Aatrox, and that they're going to pick Aatrox, and it doesn't matter if the Gragas is going top lane or support. They're going to pick Aatrox. So instead, what I think they should have done is just picked Seraphine and then picked Aatrox, even though Aatrox is a whole nother basket of I don't understand why they pick it into Gragas top lane. I like why is that a good pick into Gragas when Gragas is used to go even in lane and Aatrox cannot abuse that? I don't understand it, but that's besides the point. So Seraphine. Why not pick Seraphine here? You have a triple flex. A triple flex. So the enemy, if they end up banning your AD carries, you put her in the AD carry role. Banning your mid laners, put her in the mid lane role. Banning your supports, put her in the support role. You have a triple flex by retaining it by picking Aatrox, which makes Aatrox actually not that terrible of an answer to Gragas, because if you pick anything else, they might counterpick it because Gragas is still a flex. Then you pick the Aatrox with the Seraphine instead. Now you have a triple flex, and whatever they end up banning, you just put Seraphine in there. Or if they really wanted the Rel, which I'm pretty sure they did, instead pick Orianna. Pick Orianna and Rel. And what you should do, and my god, I don't understand this, but it seems the professional AD carry players are so hellbent on not playing mages bot lane. Like, I swear to god, they have a group chat somewhere, and they talk about, like, this mage is good in bot lane. I just played against the mage bot lane. And everybody else in the entire world of AD carry players, they're just like, no, we're not going to play mage's bot lane. Delete that guy from the server. Like, I don't fucking know what's going on, but refusing to play mages, I don't think that's, I don't understand that. The only mage, quote unquote, that is being played currently is Seraphine. And I don't know why this is. You can pick Orianna Rel here and put Orianna in the bot lane role. Which means that Golden Guardians are either going to ban your top lane or your AD carry. They're never going to ban your mid lane because they don't know that it's a flex. And Orianna Rel is a devastating combo because Rel is always going to engage. And whenever Rel engages, Orianna can just destroy the enemy. So why not pick Orianna Rel? Now you might say, oh, but Orianna has a better time mid lane because she gets solo XP. Yeah, but that doesn't really matter. With Rel, it doesn't matter. She cannot die. She's never in danger with Rel. As Orianna, you're never in danger if you have Rel by your side. It's impossible to die unless you really int. Right? So pick Orianna with Rel here. Put them bot lane. The enemy team doesn't know you're going to put them bot lane, right? They're thinking like, oh, Orianna, who plays mages bot lane, right? So they ban out your mid laner. They ban out your top laner. Or they ban out your AD carry. They ban out your top laner. They don't ban your mid laner. And we're going to see that that could have been a giant play from 100 Thieves. So the R3 here coming in is Tristana. Now, I think Tristana is a really good champion. I'm really glad that we're getting more of her. I think it's a really good pick in general, but it's especially good into Rel and Kaisa here, right? Because Kaisa cannot flank. It is impossible to flank with Tristana on the enemy team. Rel cannot engage. It is impossible. because Tristana will just ult you. Tristana will Rel. Tristana will ult Kaisa. She cannot ult Olaf, so she has to ult somebody else, which is going to be Kaisa or Rel, right? I really do like this pick from Golden Guardians, and it starts creating a theme for them, while at the same time destroying the theme that 100 Thieves are currently putting on the table. Because 100 Thieves are currently saying that their theme is basically currently like it's very much go all in, engage, go face, smork, right? That's what 100 Thieves are saying right now. And Golden Guardians are recognizing this and saying, okay, here, we're going to put Tristan on the table. You're not going to be able to really engage into us without a single brain cell, right? You're going to have to think about how you're going to approach the team fight, right? Which is another reason why I hate the Kaisa pick. Because Tristana here, you pick Oriana, they're going to pick Tristana every time, still, right? They're picking Tristana still because Tristana is really good into Oriana. So then you take that Oriana and you put her in the bot lane. And then on B4, B5, you pick Syndra. And Tristana, it doesn't exist. So the fourth ban for Golden Guardians is Gnar. I'm not sure why we're banning Gnar, honestly. I do understand that Gnar is a very volatile champion against your team composition and all of that. But if you're already thinking, which I'm not sure if they were, to be honest, if you had Janna in mind from the get-go, I don't think this was a needed ban. I don't think it's a terrible ban. I don't think it was needed if they were thinking about Janna already, right? Because Janna can disengage Gnar as well, really well, if she's played mechanically correctly, right? So the fourth ban for 100 Thieves is going to be Alistar, even though I don't actually like Alistar that much as a champion. I think Leona trumps him in every sense of the word, except for numbers, I guess. I do understand this ban. It goes really well against Rel, and they really wanted to deny the disengage that Golden Guardians have planned, which is another reason why I'm saying that Gnar could have been a potentially good ban, because maybe they thought they were going to pick Alistar and not Janna, and then after they saw the Alistar ban, they were like, okay, guys, we're gonna pick Janna, right, instead. Maybe they didn't have an answer, and then Newbie or somebody else was just like, wait, pick Janna, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So, Golden Guardians. The ban here is Syndra. Obviously, I am almost certain that a Blaze Olive is screaming his lungs out, please ban Syndra, I do not want to play against it. Right? And this goes directly back into my point previously on picking Oriana with Rel. Because if this is Oriana, they don't ban the Syndra. Instead, you pick it. Right? Because Ori's going bot lane, you pick Syndra. And you have enough damage, AD damage, because you're going to pick an AD top laner. We all know that you're going to pick an AD top laner. You have an Olaf in the jungle, you don't have a Lilia, which means that you have actually pretty good damage. I think what a play could have also been done was pick Seraphine with Gangplank. Right? I think that would have been a better pick than Aatrox. I think Gangplank would have been a better pick because Gragas is there to kind of neutralize the matchup, to go even, and Gangplank, loves going even, right? He's absolutely fine with the game just going on, but obviously that's not going to be possible with Olaf and Kaisa, right? Which, I mean, I don't actually think that it's that bad with Olaf. I think it's a bit off theme, but not game breaking or anything. I think it's off theme with Kaisa because Kaisa wants to go in, and Gangplank just wants to kind of chill, right? So, the next ban for 100 Thieves was Yone. I'm not too certain why Yone was a ban. I'm honestly not sure because I think the Tristana pick, I think it was very obvious that it was going to go mid. I don't know, maybe it's a good pick into Aatrox, and maybe they have some inside information that I don't. I'm not too sure about that. I personally think it is a waste of a ban, but I'm not. I don't actually know exactly what they could have or should have banned. I think banning. I think banning I don't know if I had to tell you what to ban here, I think it is a wasted ban. But if you were scared of something like Kione, you are probably more scared, sorry, of something like an Aphelios here, because Aphelios is really loves this composition because Lilia, you can never go near Aphelios because Lilia is just going to ult you. You can never go near Aphelios because Gragas is just going to ult you and just keep you the fuck away, right? So I'm not sure about the Yone ban. I think you should have banned Aphelios, but I don't know. It doesn't even matter because that doesn't end up being the pick. So the pick here, I don't think they would have guessed in a million years, is Sivir. Now, the first time I saw this pick, I didn't entirely like it. I thought it was a bit off theme. I thought they could have done better with Aphelios or even an Ashe um, for some re-engage potential. But in the end, I think it was a really good pick. I think Sivir is a really good pick here, and I think it's actually directly on theme. I think it really functions well with the theme of this composition and what they're trying to accomplish because her utility of the ulti really hammers home what they want to do. And her E also very easily kind of just denies Rel's engage potential entirely. And if Rel's engage potential is denied onto Sivir, that means that she's going to have more time outputting damage, which is always going to be really good, especially the later in the game that you go. And Golden Guardians are looking to go late into the game, and they're going to easily be able to do it with a Gragas, Lilia, Tristana, and now a Sivir, right? Because you really can't fight this team because they're always going to disengage, and with their utility team, Olaf is not even going to be able to catch up, right? Even if he had Ghost, which he didn't, I don't think. So, B4, B5 from 100 Thieves is Aatrox and Orianna. I don't like the Aatrox pick. This is another can of worms. I don't understand. Like, I'm not sure why people think that Aatrox is good into Gragas. I would really love for somebody to explain to me how Aatrox is good into Gragas, because Gragas is used to neutralize and to go even in lane. Aatrox cannot abuse this fact. Even if Aatrox were to get a kill onto Gragas, Gragas would still be even due to his champion. It's just how the champion works, right? His W, his very low cost items, because he can go into a variety of different items. And once he gets Bramble Vest, which he's going to get stat against Aatrox, Aatrox can really do nothing. And if you're not really roaming to get your team ahead, I don't understand the pick of Aatrox. And then we have Orianna, right? It also really grinds my gears because they end up going for the Orianna into the Tristana. I don't think it's a good pick into Tristana, first of all. Second of all, like I said, it could have been utilized in a much better way. Though me modding about this is not going to do anything, right? So let's just move on. I do understand the pick in the sense that it's really good with Rel, that Engage is really good, but now you have two carries. So unless Golden Guardians int, they're never going to be hit with the same CC. Their two carries are never going to be hit with the same CC. We do see that Golden Guardians do in fact int, and they do in fact get hit by the same CC because they have two carries sticking together. Now this would have been a lot harder if the enemy was more aware of the game, because you would have to time your Orianna ulti and your Rel engage at the exact same time, basically, and at very peculiar moments, so that you can stifle both the Sivir and the Tristan at the same time. This doesn't end up going into effect, though I do think there are a couple of positions where it very well could have. So yeah, I do understand the pick in that sense, but I absolutely hate Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa, I think all of these champions really just hate Kai'Sa right now. And I think Kai'Sa hates herself. However, the final nail in the coffin, the exact moment that 100 Thieves loses this game, is this. The Janna pick. This is such a good pick. I need to hammer it into you how good of a pick this is. Look at the enemy composition. They all want to engage. Every single one of them. Rel, Kaisa, Aatrox, Oriana. They all want to be in there. Guess what? They can't. No. Janna comes in and says, "Hee, not today." Janna says, "Get under my huge fucking umbrella as it's raining outside, right? With the forecast Janna skin. Get under my umbrella. And everybody else, fuck off." And that's exactly what this pick accomplishes. Only the Olaf can stay inside. But with so much disengage, with Gragas, Janna, Sivir ulti, Tristana ulti, Tristana W as well, Olaf cannot be there alone. And even if the team somehow manages to bypass all of these, right? If Gragas whiffs his cask, if Newbie whiffs his monsoon, if a Blaze Olive doesn't use his ulti like he didn't, there's still the Lily ult. There's still the Sivir ult. Right? If Newbie misses his Q onto the Rel, it doesn't matter. He still has Monsoon. A Blaze Olive still has ulti. Gragas still has cask. And again, the Lilia still has her ulti. Sivir has still her ulti. This is such a good pick because it's on theme with every one of these champions. And if Lilia went Moonstone Renewer here for her carries, I think this would have been an even better draft. Because your carries never die. Tristana doesn't die if she doesn't int. Like he did. Sivir doesn't die. None of these champions can really die. Gragas, he can't get killed. Lilia, she has Zhonya's. So, who exactly dies here? And how? How does 100 Thieves engage? Where is this? 100 Thieves composition has to engage. If they are unable to engage, they lose the fight 10 out of 10 times. And Golden Guardians, their composition is built for disengage. Insane amounts of disengage. And their win condition is basically just living long enough to deal damage in fights. Which is why I think Lilia should have taken Moonstone Renewer to help her carry, but that's besides the point. The Blaze Olive entered it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right? The Janna pick is just so insanely good at forcing this teamfight strategy with disengage. And due to their many disengage tools, it completely destroys the opponent's win condition in teamfights. And thus the game. Because suddenly 100 Thieves can never contest an objective. They can't contest Baron. They can't contest Dragon. Because this is also a very, very good Baron or objective taking team. Tristana, Sivir, Lilia, Janna? And how do you contest this? How? There's just no way. However, you will notice that in the actual game, Huhi does get some insanely good engages, which start to get them back on track. But even so, they weren't even close to being able to end the game at any point. And that's the insane engages were mostly Golden Guardians' fault. They very much mispositioned and had their, their carries sticking together like glue so that Rel can get the insane engages off, right? So if 100 Thieves picks Seraphine, if 100 Thieves picks Oriana, this game goes different, and I would love to have seen how what the different line here's can be in game. Because this game, if played 100 times over, Golden Guardians never lose. Never. And if 100 Thieves pick Seraphine, if they pick Oriana for their bot lane pick, right? In phase one, I wonder how this goes, right? I wonder what would happen. Which is what has actually inspired me to make this video. I would really love to start seeing changes in drafts and in games as well. Um, so yeah, that's mostly it about this. There's a lot in the game that I will not be going into right now. I will be making a future video probably in a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days. I'll make another video talking about this game itself, because it was a very chaotic game and I think there's a lot of mistakes to learn from, and to also hammer in the insane draft difference between the two teams. So yeah, that's that. This is how 100 Thieves lost the game in draft phase. 3 minutes and about 20 seconds into draft phase, 100 Thieves lost the game, and this was how. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to create more, so if you like this style of video, if you like what I have to say, if you think that I am good with words in this case, leave a like, subscribe. If you think I'm dog shit, leave a dislike. Tell me how much you hate me in the comments below. But yeah, that's about it for this draft. See you some other time. I'm out.